Hello, good morning, and welcome to today's broadcast of Cass on the Fly. My name is Cassandra, and we had an eventful morning this morning as we posted all over Twitter or X, as well as Truth Social. And I wanted to come onto this platform to elaborate a little bit on experience versus inexperience, and let you know that it's interesting because sharing all the information I have shared, it will only affect people who have experience. It has to do everything with being grounded in structured integrity. It has everything to do with where you grew up, what kind of learning that you've done in your existence. Otherwise, it's just manipulation. But if you're grounded in logics, and if you're grounded in ethics, morals, and values, if you know self-awareness, if you know that, right now is not the time to be starting a relationship, if you are with what's going on in today's society, anything that has to do with seduction or sex is unwelcomed. So as soon as that occurs in your space, you handle it. When you have experience, you have the ability to utilize things from your past. So age is important, meaning the older you are, the more you've already dealt with these things that you're experiencing in this time frame. Even if you're dealing with internet, it's the same thing. However, it's all in your face now. Now you can see it. So that's the evolution of your advancement. Now the problem with this is that the people are brainwashed. People are brainwashed, and with your experience, however, you want to express in a brainwashed situation. So with experience, you're able to maneuver in and out of conversations, whether you're in business, whether you're in personal life, knowing that intention means everything. Experience does matter in all business shapes, forms, whatever. However, the new age model is that experience doesn't matter. And it's really honestly why we're in this mess. It's why the adults chose these younger generation folks to lead in the space of internet. This is why we're in this mess, is because people who are from foreign countries don't have this kind of education around people skills. So that's another thing that I want to educate Americans on, is that foreign governments aren't people skill oriented. They're control oriented, because that's the history of their country. We fled to this country, and you want to take a look at the history, because people will always be people, even if they're telepathically being manipulated by aliens, meaning they're just basically all they're doing is taking your mind to control it. They're controlling your minds, and this is what Obama is up to. This is what the Democrat Party is up to, but they're just controlling the mind in ways that humans are thinking, like have thought in the past, and they're taking little molehills and escalating them into mountains. They're taking untrue stories and making them true. They're recreating humanity and lifestyles to make bad the good and good the bad. With that being said, then you want to take a look at people authentically are not feeling happy or positive around anything that's going on within government systems, within their businesses, and with the people that they're working with. Meaning at some point, people are waking up to themselves, meaning whether they're still feeling these angst feelings around seduction or catastrophe in whatever current situation they're dealing with, they're now in self-awareness that they're not happy, because people live in a selfish mindset. And there's a lot of things to kind of like discuss on that, to say, yeah, that's a great place to be, to live in self-awareness, to be in discovery around self-awareness. But when it becomes an overflow of too much selfishness, that's where we are with the millennial Gen Zs, that's where we are with content creators, and that's where we are with celebrities. So even this big shift in your empowerment this morning with Republicans and the conversation that we had on Truth Social, you can already feel an empowerment in yourself. So you want to pay attention that your experience is already coming out into the surface, because what we have been experiencing is the lack of experience associated to internet. Which internet really is not that complicated. It's not that hard. It's just a feeling of insecurity that comes from the practice of being on the internet. And so what needs to happen is you as leaders, as good people, as intention grounded in ethics, morals, and values, you have to stay as a person on your platform. But that's why you are the leader on the platform. So I hope that landed with you, because it felt like it was a little squishy in that conversation piece. You as I like to use Donald Trump because he has been brave enough to battle in the internet, which is why they were the pink finger pointers at him, because he called out the bad guys. He said, you're not going to steal any more celebrity. You're not going to be the center of attention anymore. We believe in America. And so everybody has a platform. And Hillary Clinton saw the financial benefits and the control benefits of working with celebrities versus doing her job as a leader. Same thing with Obama, although Obama had other goals in mind, such as running the world, because he's from the Middle East. So you have to take into account experience matters when you're working with multicultural places, meaning most of these people who are on content creator do not realize when they're encountering a Middle Eastern that they're dealing with a different culture. And even if I tell them that they're dealing with a different culture, they're saying, I believe in equality. But they're not a leader. You're Donald Trump. You are the leader. That means you own the space of world leadership. And so do other people, such as people that I know who, as a world leader myself, we own the space of world leadership. And that means for other world leaders also, such as Z. I'll even say China, Z, right? So when I'm speaking to world leadership, I'm talking about the people at the top who hold integrity and morality. Meaning they're for their people, they help their people are number one in priority, they have ethics, morals, and values, they're grounded in their culture, and they're not trying to intermingle. However, they are trying to intermingle in multicultural assistance. See, most people don't understand that borders are necessary to hold on to cultural history, but not to mention genetically in your genes, you're Chinese because you're Chinese. And that is so important for you as an individual to not be thrown out of. The people who claim to be African American are not African American. That's why they're in such turmoil, because they're not African, they're American. So I actually said something yesterday about Usher being an American, and it felt like people went, what? He's an American. And so that actually stems from the Democratic Party trying to create unrest amongst the Black American community. And you could literally say American, but it's just a label. And sometimes it's necessary for labels because genetically in your genes, you might have sickle cell anemia. When you're looking at a medical chart, it's necessary to look to see if you are a Black or white American to see if you have sickle cell anemia. And that is just one example. But not only that, but it tells us the type of diet you eat, because culturally, we are intermingling cultures in this country. However, a Black Christmas usually has pig's feet. And that's just what you like. Now, that kind of behavior and accepting the fact that Usher likes to have pig's feet on Christmas is an acceptance of him being a person. I accept that. Although I have a thing on pork, but that's just me. But you can do you. It has everything to do with experience as a person. Now, also with that means Usher is not going to tell me that I can't have lasagna on Christmas, because that's what we usually have on Christmas. That's what equality means. And that's like the simpler form. However, that's a boundary too, right? You have to understand that you must create balance and boundaries and equality. And what we've gotten into a space of is that inexperience is now the experience based on the fact that you have 1 million accidental followers. You all are like kind of like in this confusion. You've always been you're in confusion state when you're in your 20s and when you're in your 30s. And so for those people to be teaching about life coaching and all this nonsense, they're not life coaches. They're actually psychologically destructive. I would trust psychological information from Donald Trump over anyone in their 20s on a platform, even if they have a degree, based on experience. That's where the conversation of when is college necessary or not, well, it's based on the job. It's based on who you are. It's based on what kind of personal research you've done. It's based on what you're saying and speaking to. It's based on a lot of different things. It's not based on the fact that you showed up one day, you put on a fancy outfit and pretty hair, you got a fake degree because you know Obama, and then you went around and said you were a pharmacy assistant where you then became a doctor because you're not actually born in this country, you're actually from Iran, and you got kicked out of Iran to move to this country where you saw an opportunity for the vulnerable to abuse them because your family has a lot of money. Not to mention they're part of the Taliban. Experience matters. Being with people matters. If we have people all over the internet who do not like people, like Kristin Cavallari and Kim Kardashian, the reason people don't like you and they're mean to you is because that's who you are. That's who you've been for people. That's because you're weak and you don't actually know how to be a leader, nor do you know how to educate. See, if Kristin Cavallari was up on her platform and she was teaching something of value, not fashion, I'm talking other stuff, not walking in a fancy set of glasses with her kid as her dog. People would actually, if she was teaching something of value, they would look at her in a different way because they were getting something from this. This is the whole point of this whole thing. You want to understand this point right here, what I'm making here, is why we have such turmoil on these platforms. It's because the people who are not teaching, they're unethical, they only care about money and clout, and who they're dating, and they're fueling gossip, are the leads on these platforms. They have no experience in work at all. They hire people to do all the hard labor, and then they stand in front of a camera and do a photo shoot with a tossed salad bowl in hand, where they then call their boyfriend and say, will you post this, my love, and downplay corporate America, Persian. That's an inexperienced marketer. That's proof because an experienced marketer wanted to educate you on how these women are operating. This woman did absolutely nothing for that brand to educate, to expand, to have people fall in love with it. She literally wanted people to buzz about her getting a brand deal because that's how their minds think. It's the same exact thing when you're comparing it to politics, because politics is modeling after celebrity and modeling after content creators because they see that as the opportunity. But you as a civil servant has nothing to do with content creation, nor do you have anything to do with celebrity. And that's the problem that we've gotten into, is that you've taken celebrity and content creator as priority over the American people, and that's illegal. And that's all the Democrats have been up to. So Black Lives Matter got together and they moved people around the country. That's where the money went. Bad people to move into places to where they could guide the vote. Then they robbed us of the vote because they tapped in by working with the balloon in China to work over our voting bullshit. Then they started utilizing whatever Obama's teaching for mutilation tactics and manipulation tactics of the minds for everyone. So the strong, which is the Republican, meaning they have strong, when I say strong, I mean strong ethics, morals, and values, and family is important. Family's like the priority, meaning they have the future in mind for children. Even the Black children, even Black Lives Matter children, even the thugs. So they always had this equality about them. However, the Democrats were always trying to fuel drama and turmoil because they're inexperienced. They never grew from children into adults because they were always standing in the corner. Well, what about me? Well, maybe if you had a brain and you got educated, or you had experience because you worked hard, you would have that opportunity. But instead, what they decided to do is started to manipulate minds of the masses with inexperience, which is what we've seen in the telecast of the woman who is all ghetto with her long nails. That's an example of where the politics in this country is going. Now, you take a look at her and you take a look at Herschel Walker, and you tell me how one is winning and one is occurring as if he's losing. It's all an occurrence, though, because she's actually losing and Herschel's actually winning in life. She just got her 5 minutes of fame where she will then go to jail. See, what she does is she's using non-intelligent, everything comes back up. It like catches up with you. So all these people that she made deals with to vote for her, or even the people in the circle of the Democratic Party to get her in office, she was not prepared for the role of leader. These women and these men have not done the work like Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker was a football player who learned strategy, who learned how hard work. He learned a lot of different things because he put in the work. These people just showed up one day without an education who said, I deserve to be a leader in this country. And this is what it looks like for you to allow our country to be robbed. But even taking money out of the picture is she doesn't know how to maneuver in conversations with people. So she just goes all ghetto and bullies people and then uses the mind manipulation. This is business too, folks. So she's uses bullying, manipulation, and control. And then it's like Hitler conversation. To press her information upon other people and then schmoozes around like Obama did. Empty promises, no action, while the American people suffer. So when that is coming into effect, is these are things that you have to be aware of, that you're always looking for the loophole of how to see what you need to see, whether you're engaging in doing things with her or conversating with her. Because this is a weak woman. She's weak, although she's occurring as strong. So that's the concern of the vision, that you need to switch your vision in. These are the weak occurring. They're only occurring as strong. The Biden administration, the Obama regime is crumbling before your eyes. And you have to stay in that mindset that they're crumbling. It's just the patience game that we're working in. So a lot of people feel disempowered around what's going on. They feel depleted. They feel, so this is something that needs to be spoken out into conversations, is we can do this. We will do this. We will take our country back, but it has to be spoken in ways that they're hearing you. So it has to change. For the children. If not, we're going to have one person stand in front of us and dictate to us how we're supposed to feel. And that's not going to happen. So is there anything else that I want to tell you? The conversation of watching their speeches in the past, of seeing how they're speaking, is how people are thinking. A person who's speaking like that is in a blind spot, and they just think the audience is stupid. However, you're not stupid. So how do you unravel the conversation from being woven in like this into where people will hear you as you speak like this. And they will go back into this because they're listening to everything. But you want to draw them right back. And you have to do the work in continuous conversation of getting yourselves on the platforms to communicate ethical, moral, and value conversations in a way that's heard. So you kind of have to step into their world, pull out the garbage. It's like pull out the garbage, let people see it. The veil will come back, pull it up again, show again. And then you're maneuvering the pieces around so you can see the big picture and the path that you'll need to take to get there like the tortoise. And you already have a stack of evidence, but it doesn't really matter if the people aren't seeing the truth. So there's something in the news media discussion. So it's maybe you that needs to transform the way you're speaking. And not just the speaking. So if you watch the Obama speech where everybody cheered and yay, the audience occurs as a different type of audience than a Trump audience. Biden doesn't really have an audience except for Obama's audience. This is why he's always just, it's him with no one there. Because nobody likes him. Or Kamala. They all are like, how the hell did they get into office? So what I'm speaking to here is experience in building trust and unraveling the brainwash of what the Democrats have done to the American people. Because you're all brainwashed. It's hard to tell somebody who's brainwashed that this ghetto woman isn't giving her, even if they're standing in front of you getting a bribe. And then you go, well, what the hell was that? And if you're brainwashed, she's going to say, oh, well, that was just a da-da-da-da. Well, kind of look like a brainwash. No, it's not a brainwash. I promise. Trust me. And then you as an American go, okay. Well, how do you get someone who's brainwashed to say, this is like a cult. This is like what happens with cult followings. It's hard for you to steer their eyes away from the jargon and the garbage because they think they're getting something off of it. They think they're getting something of value. So there's a lot of different pieces in just you standing at the podium, seeing how you can be different while being yourself. Like, well, how am I being in this speech? I'm exhausted. I'm this, I'm that. I like your list. I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. This is for anybody in business. How am I being? I'm being this, I'm being this, I'm being, well, what do I need to add into this conversation in the way that I'm presenting the work? Do I need to be a little more humorous? Do I need to be a little lighthearted? Do I need to be more cheerful? Do I need to be more direct? Do I need to be a little bit more protected? I mean, whatever it is in your feeling of insecurity, you cannot show up with any form of insecurity, but you have to be grounded in an authentic version of that security. See, all of these Democrats are showing up. They're showing up as complete frauds. Wiggly frauds. Which means that it's all confusion, manipulation, in famehood. But you don't stand for these people, right? Because you don't want them to stand for the Democrats win, because that's manipulation. You want to figure out a way to get them to look and listen to what you're saying because you're the true leader. They're the frauds. So you don't stand for people because there are people that are just pure evil. And then there are the people that are pure evil and that are brainwashed. And then there are the people that are just brainwashed. It's very challenging. But I assure you there's more people out there that are brainwashed than there are that are pure evil. I like to think that the space of being in always winning, I feel like we're winning, living in grounded in the fact that we've already won, because the good always win, the good always wins, the good always wins, the good always wins. But they're telling you that you're the bad. But that belongs with them because they're the bad. If you can't take a look at the facts, then I don't know what else to say. You have to work in emotions, right? Because that's all they're working in. Hundreds of thousands of migrants are coming into this country and they are pooping and peeing in our toilets. And we don't have enough hot water, and California's in a drought, and we're running out of money, and he's trying to pay off kids' colleges now. When you're telling people don't go to college. What? That's a fact. He literally stood at a pedestal and with his eyes like this, sunken back. Ada bada 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 bada. So what do you need to do as a leader? Because you're the experienced one. It takes God, but it takes action and work. But what on your sides, all of you who are up to the good stuff, grounded in humanity, who cares about people and babies, who wants the aliens out, who doesn't care about money, because that's your first sign. How much money is your first sign? How much are you going to pay me? Look at how pretty I look. Look at how hot she is. Seduction? Seduction's your first sign. Money's your second sign. Fame? I'm bragging. Look at me. Look at the party. Look at this fancy party I'm going to. And then gossip. That's not a real leader. The number one priority in this country is to get the politics back in order and get the Democrats off. Like, literally, I hope and pray the Democratic Party collapses and it disappears forever. Because they've been nothing but a thorn in the side of the American people since the day they started, the day of corruption. With that being said, I have other errands that I need to run today. I really wanted to get at least 100 pieces of TikTok video out today, and I'm not sure if I'll be able to get it done today, but I have gotten some good, thoughtful pieces of video on Twitter as well as Truth Social for you all to take a look at. So I hope that you take the time out of your day to reevaluate. So watch, reevaluate, think about it, see how you're being in your business, how you're being in your politics. Even if you're not physically in as a leader in politics, you're involved in this. If you don't think human first and you're thinking in selfish terms, then you are mentally ill and you are brainwashed. Okay, I hope everybody has a good day. We will see you later this afternoon, probably.